to see like what problems you'd have with
noise.
Yeah.
Okay. The biggest thing is facilities in the school.
Yeah.
The lack of facilities, because you're really at the mercy of the school that you go in to, depending whether they have extra room or what kind of a room they have available to you.
So you could be working in a classroom.
You could be in a classroom, you could be in the staff room, you could be in the hall, you could be in the gym, you could be outside in a porta cabin.
Yeah, so and you'd be doing, if you did a school, you'd be doing everyone in that school in the one day, or would it be certain classes?
We only do junior infants for hearing.
Yeah.
That's all, and then up through the school, anyone from senior infants to 6th class, if the teachers have a concern or if the parents have a concern, we'll do their hearing.
Yeah, yeah.
But the only ones that we actually do are the junior infants.
Junior infants ones, yeah.
Unless we have a specific request to have the hearing tested on another child. One of the biggest difficulties is the outside noise, because you have PE going on and you have yard and you have...
Yeah, there's always something happening.
Children are noisy by their very fact that they're children.
It's the same now in the surgery at home, because they kind of turn off radios and tell people to be quiet, but they might be telling the people in the hall to be quiet, but then someone else could come in and they don't know what's going on, and they could let it roar out, and then they wouldn't know. The results they're getting aren't accurate, and because of that, then they're not doing it very often. Like they might have one a month.
All right, okay.
Whereas
I'd be doing 30 to 40 a morning.
Yeah.
Every morning.
So you'd want something quick, something that doesn't kind
easy,
of... Yeah.
lightweight to carry, because it has to be portable, it has to go from one place to another, it has to be able to fold down into a carry thing.
You can put into the back seat or something, yeah.
And something, I don't know about hygiene,
see, with the boots it wouldn't be too bad, because...
Yeah.
But with the headpieces, then you'd have to have something maybe that you could take out the inside of it.
Another thing that you need to be I need to be careful of is when I'm doing the children, I have to see.
You have to be able to see them.
Well, in theory, you're not supposed to look at them, but I think if you see their reaction on their face, you know they're hearing the sound. Because they even give you facial responses before they give you the actual response. What I do is I bring them into a room, I bring 4 to 5 at a time. I tell them that we're going to play a game, and then I say to them, I'm going to put the earphones on your ears, and we're going to listen for the alien sound. I show them, demonstrate the sound that they have to listen out for, and then I say it's going to be way quieter than this. And then I say, when you hear the noise in this ear, I want you to point your ears in this ear. If you don't hear it,
don't do anything.
Just tell me no noise, okay? And then we start off, and I start with I start at the frequency of 4,000, and I give it to them at 50 decibels, so it's really loud, and they get it. But before their hand even goes up, their eye moves.
They make a reaction.
Their eye turns to the place where they're hearing it. So I like to keep eye contact. Yeah. Some people don't, but they give me the visual response, or they give me a facial response before.
So even if they don't. If they think they don't hear it, you still kind of get an idea that they do.
Yeah, and then you can just go over the sounds again with them, during during that test, that screening. If they fail it then on that day, we give it to them at 4,000, 2,000, 1,500. And if they fail any of them at 20 decibels or above, they fail.
They fail the test.
Then we repeat it again in 4 weeks' time, and then after that we bring them to the area medical officer.
Yeah.
Then we examine their ears, do the earwax, the usual, and then if we bring them back again, do another one, and if they fail that, we send them to audiology.
Audiology, because I was in Ferguson's in town, and they have a great setup there. They have the room soundproofed, and they have the boot in the room that's soundproofed as well.
All right, okay.
So but
they
she was saying
adults mostly, is it?
Adults mostly, yeah. It'd be more for hearing aids now, but she was saying that she heard that a lot of things at schools and surgeries have awful problems with noise, like they can't eliminate it enough to get the results they're getting mightn't be 100% accurate then, if they're hearing there then.
But it's not a diagnostic test in the school, it's only a screening test, so
that's
the difference,
just to see
whereas I suppose Ferguson's is diagnostic.
That's it, but it's the same in the surgeries. The surgeries, they're just checking to see if it's below a certain level they need to be referred on.
Yeah.
But they don't really do them an awful lot, and the equipment is kind of expensive to have it sitting on the shelf.
Well, that's it, yeah.
And then I'd say people, I don't think they like doing it anyway, because like it might take up 2 appointments with all the, cause if someone comes in, a baby comes in the middle of a test crying, they might have to start the test again.
Well,
and
that's it, yeah.
Even the machine itself, I was over in a test last day, and the knob for increasing the frequency makes a bit of a ticking sound.
Yeah.
So he was right beside her, and he pressed the button, but she didn't send the sound out. She just changed the thing, so he could hear the ticking then, and then we moved him over near the door, and he could hear.
There was nothing wrong with his hearing.
No, there wasn't.
Yeah.
We moved him way in, and he didn't hear that at all, but he heard the sounds outside, and even the echo in the room from computers and stuff.
A helmet, maybe.
Some kind of
lightweight helmet. Might work as well, something like that you put on them.
They put on them, yeah.
Because when I put on the earphones myself, they do block a lot of the sound, you know, that you are really, if you're listening intently, you'll hear it. A lot of it then is poor concentration, and the children are young. Yeah. Some of them would only be just 4 since the summer, so they'd be quite immature, and then you'd end up repeating them. The children that are older can engage you know. Yeah. And I think they think they're playing the alien game or listening for the alien sounds, because then you can, instead of giving the pure tone when you're demonstrating, I usually give a warble, so it does sound like an alien machine coming. They engages their imagination, especially for boys. The girls are kind of sitting there going, "Oh my God, paint my nails."
I know,
I
have this thing on my head, kind of thing.
Yeah. What else would the audiologist? Have you met Joan Dunover now? No. She's our audiologist.
Over here in the hearing aid clinic here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might get into her and see.
Yeah.
Because it's a problem, but you could solve it fairly handy, like, but it's just coming up with something that's easy and lightweight, and it's children wearing it, even it's older people, like, you wouldn't want it too heavy. And
well, that's it. It's to keep it lightweight, I think. To keep it lightweight and portable.
Hygiene then,
and
I suppose.
The hygiene. Yeah. Usually I just use a bit of this disinfectant, or something, and just wipe it.
Wipes and stuff.
But if you're doing it frequently, you know, if you've got a high volume, it's kind of hard. I've got those Azo wipes that I just wipe it. Something that you can keep it clean with. The what else?
The boot, I suppose, would be alright, but you know, you were saying you want to be able to see them. So if they were inside in the boot and they couldn't hear anything,
daydreaming.
Yeah, that's it. They'd be inside, they'd be able to hear nothing. So whereas old people, they wouldn't mind, because they know what they're at really. Like, yeah.
See, you're thinking like an adult. When you're doing children, it's completely different. If you sent them into a boot, they'd look around off. Yeah. Whereas I've watched the teachers and junior infants, and they're practically spoon feeding them the information. So when you get that child in with you, you give them the instruction, but a lot of them can't follow the instruction. So you have to really break it down, and you have to say, put down your hands now and listen, and, you know, really put on your listening ears now, and let's listen for the sound. And, you know, then you don't deliver it straight away, you wait for a few seconds, and then you give them the sound, and then you start all over again. Some of them are really so that would be, I don't know about the boot, unless you had, I don't know, maybe a visual display thing in front of them that they could actually like.
But I'm not sure now how possible it is, because the boots they have in Ferguson's, they're an awful weight, and once they're put in position, then they're not moved. So I don't know, could you design something that you could just pull it up around them and there'd be a screen in front of you? But I don't know, would it worked in as well? But what would you want it to be? Dead quiet, or is there a certain like level of noise? I suppose.
Well, you see, your hearing in general is, you have to take in environmental factors, so you're never going to have a perfectly quiet environment no matter where you are, so you have to deal with all that background noise anyway. So I would just think, once it's not,
it eliminates the majority of the outside noise.
Once it's not a kanga hammer banging away outside the door, or children roaring and shouting. Another, you know, I was just thinking when you were talking there, you remember those old you'd see them in the old hairdressers, you know, those kind of
things you sit under and it comes out over your head. I was thinking that as well.
Because they're portable and they really do block out the.
Because you wouldn't want it you could have it like sitting off the end of a bench or off the end of a table. Then
that's it.
That kind of a thing. I was looking into them, alright. Even just the hairdressing things.
Yeah.
I think you could just adjust it just down over their head then, and have a screen on the front of it.
That's it, and they'd still be able to visually see them. Because I know when people are getting their hair done, I've seen them in the hairdressers, they wouldn't hear a single thing.
Not a thing, no.
And the hair beating away after them, do you know?
Yeah, I was looking into that, alright, because there doesn't seem to be anything out there with regards to, like, even the soundproof, the headphones that are there, that they're not 100%.
No. And
it seems, well, the diameter at home, in the surgery at home, the headphones just seem to be given to them, like, as an accessory, because, they're very bad.
Are they?
They're kind of sitting, they're sitting on their head here, but they're just kind of, they're not even pushing in against, they're not the padded ones.
Alright, okay.
And they seem to be like they seem to be like that a lot, and they're kind of uncomfortable as well then. And
yeah. We have ones that are adjustable naturally, because I only just sent it away this morning. It's to be calibrated tomorrow while midterm is on. But we have the padded headphones, and they're adjustable, so you have the different heights. The heads and the width, so you can adjust them to the height. And some of them are heavy. And the ones I started off with were very heavy, but I've changed them, and I've got a heavy, well, a nice size, but they're lightweight.
Yeah.
Because if I put them on my head and found them uncomfortable, I said I'm not putting them on a child.
Because they pay more attention into this is sore.
Well, you're more conscious of it. You go, oh my god, the weight of these, you know. But so
something that you could put on over the existing headphones rather than something new. With the headphones built in, and probably be better, because really then you'd only have to kind of clean the headphones when it comes to the hygiene side of it.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a touch in their head,
Oh yeah.
But hygiene seems to be a big problem.
And there's over in the neonatal unit now, they have a little probe they put in.
Yeah.
Just to taste the baby's ears, and they know straight away if they're going to have hearing difficulties. And that's going to be routine for all children until from 2012 or 2014. What are we, 2012 now?
Yeah.
I think it's January 2014, all children are going to have that done. So that, you know, the 7 to 9 month developmental that they do, that there's a hearing test we do here on all children between 7 and 9 months, that's going to be done away with, because that'll be done automatically by the neonatal nurse or the consultant.
And would you do them very often in the schools? Would you do one a week, or would it be
hearing?
Yeah.
In the last week I have done maybe 200.
Yeah. Jesus. You've got some patience.
Oh, I'll tell you, come 2 o'clock you'd be fit for the...
Because you couldn't, Jesus.
You can't let your concentration go. And every time a child comes in you have to refocus, you know. Because you
start again
and try and keep them on board. I only work part-time, so it's fine. I job share, so I work 3 days, and I get my break, and then I go back and do it again.
So you wanted, I'd say.
Yeah.
It seems,
it's tough. But like that, when you put, the minute the child comes into you, you have a little chat with them, then you tell them what to do, then you know straight away whether they're going to have difficulty with it.
Yeah.
And you know the minute you put them on, some of them are just automatically putting up their hands, and they're not really
they're just telling them what they expect from you. Like
that's it, yeah. And you know genuinely when there's someone with a hearing problem, because their face is vacant. Their face gives more away than their actual response. No expression, and there's no movement of the eye, like they're not even... Is it that? You know,
they're not even trying to listen. I know.
The eyes move, and you know, oh my god, they're hearing it or they're not hearing it. There's absolutely no registration of anything on their face. And
so you'll be the only one in the room with them then? There'll be no teacher or anything, you'll be just...
Yeah. I bring 4 at a time.
So there'll be 3 sitting on one side and you'll be going through it?
Yeah.
And would that be a problem then, that the other 3 might be kind of...
They're like mice.
Yeah. So they're kind of, I would know, when it's new to them, I suppose they're like...
mice, they just sit there and you just say, no, we should be really quiet, and you know, I've never had a problem with them.
Yeah.
They're very good now, and even my Ross school last year, every single child there failed their hearing test and failed it twice, and every one of them had to have speech therapy in the end. They would sit down quiet. But if you bring more than 4, you'll have problems.
You start messing then,
If you have 6, oh my god, some days you just say...
And I suppose if the number's been so big then, it's kind of a problem.
90 children in that place. St. Nesson's I did, and 90 in St. Paul's last week.
Jesus.
So that was 180 children, plus in the afternoons I'm here, so I bring in people that have queries, and I do their hearing or their vision, whatever they need.
And is it every year then you have to calibrate the diameter?
Yeah, every year.
Yeah.
And generally I don't have any problems with it after that, once it's calibrated.
And that's into it then, is it England or somewhere?
Well, there's some guy comes, he's sent over by some insurance company to do it. He was supposed to come the end of August.
Yeah.
I don't know, something, he couldn't come. And he's here tomorrow, the 1st and the 2nd of November. Or the 31st.
He could be the same fella that Ferguson said, because she was saying he does all the boots and all the diameters in Scotland and Wales.
That's him.
That's him, yeah. She was saying that, that he comes over and he does all theirs.
Yeah, and he was supposed to come at the end of August and something happened, he couldn't come, so he's coming these few days. Now the one I had been using wasn't calibrated for the last few that I did, but it was calibrated last September.
Because when I was with her in Ferguson, she rang him and asked him had he seen anything other than headphones, but he gave me an email or a website for headphones he thought were very good, but even on the website they were advertising them as headphones you'd wear on a plane or on a train rather than odd diameter ones. So he didn't really see anything, and the fact that he's gone to so many places, if there was stuff out there he would have seen it. So it's amazing, it has been looked into. I know it's not, you're only checking is it a certain level, but if it was made easier, maybe in the surgeries they do it more, because at the moment they're not doing it at all. I don't know, is it they're not doing it because the equipment is so bad and it takes so long, or the people aren't coming in. You know, they could only hand out appointments to older people that are coming in for other things if they felt they had a problem, if they could do it quickly, like. But at the moment she was saying that it could take up to 20 minutes extra between repeating it, and if you repeated it 4 or 5 times, then she's not really sure if he's hearing it or not.
Oh, I know.
You know?
I know.
Rather, if you could just run it off in 10 or 15 minutes and without repeating anything, you'd have a fair idea how good or how bad they are.
Yeah, it's desperate. Definitely, I think the facial thing is important, to be able to see their face for younger people.
Yeah, because
that would be the big thing. And I know there's only another girl in the county that does them as well, and she gets them to put or pick up fishes or pick up whatever. But I think children get overwhelmed then with too many instructions. If you keep it simple, it's always better. Because
I've seen a few on the internet when I was doing the research. There's a few like the rings with the pole. So if you hear it, you put a ring on the thing. But I suppose if you're telling them to do too much, you kind of.
I think so. You know, they're very young and a lot of instruction, and then I think they get more carried away with doing the actual task than listening. Yeah. The Deaf Here, did you contact them?
No.
That's deafhere.ie. They have a place down there in opposite, where is it? You know where the Franciscan church is? Is it Apache Pizza or whatever?
Oh yeah.
They have what would they call premises there, or an office there. They're very good. They have a good website as well, deafhere.ie. And the School for the Deaf, have you been in there?
No.
School for the Hearing Impaired.
Would they have the equipment now like Ferguson's, or would they be all kind of like you? Would they be just checking whether you're above or below? Or
they have hearing aid. They have children with hearing.
Yeah, so they have all
already have been treated, and they're wearing hearing aids. But they're actually the children. If you wanted to talk to them, to know see how they found the experience or what they would think would work. And most of them have sign. Most of them are signing.
Yeah.
There isn't a lot of children in that school, but there's a couple of social workers there as well.
Is it junior infants you do, because that's the age where if you don't catch it then it'll kind of progress too quickly. Speech. They'll
start losing out at school. They won't be able to hear the teacher. They'll lose instruction. Their speech won't develop, and then they'll fall behind.
Because they're so young, I suppose they wouldn't even realise what's going on.
That's it. And it's like swimming, like putting your head into an aquarium if you've got glue ear or earwax or any of those, because you hear the sound but it's not as clear as it should be. And you'd be surprised the amount of children that we refer every year for ear problems. It's shocking really. And you bring up the parents after. Well, I usually send a note home to say, look, they failed, but I'll repeat it a month, and then we send another one, and then next thing they're over, they're having grommets in, they're going, oh my god, we never knew there was a problem. And then televisions are so loud and everything is so loud.
And they're so close to everything,
that's it, that parents don't notice. Is there anything else?
No, that's very helpful. No,
I don't know.
I was just presuming a lot of things, but
were you?
You know, I was presuming outside noise would be a big thing, but the fact that I never would have thought about the looking at it, because even in the surgery at home, the one I did, she was here and he was facing away from her. I know he's an adult and it's different, but I would have presumed children to be the same. You'd be doing it and they'd be looking at a wall or something.
They're always like years ago, the Christian Brothers. Brother McKettrick was the guy. He was the specialist for us in Dublin. When he gave us our training in UCD, he said to us, "Oh, turn the child away from you and have the back toward." It was so weird. It was like, oh my God, the poor little child. But then, and you'd never know whether they were seeing it. But then the minute I started to practice, I turned them around.
Yeah. But they'd be worried as well that they're looking, you're behind them and what are you doing?
It was all weird.
And they're hearing noises and they don't know what this is.
It was just unnatural. You shouldn't have a child facing away from you. It's just not right. So when you can see their face, you can smile, they can smile at you, you can get a response, and you can tell them not to worry. You know, if you don't hear, it doesn't matter, it's not a problem. This is only a game. We're not, you know,
it's not serious.
It's not serious. So don't be worrying. Whereas the other thing was also formal and regimental and my God, cruel. And
could they see you pressing?
No,
they couldn't see.
I put up a screen around my own.
So you can see from.
And they can't see my hands, what I'm doing or anything. They'll say, it's about this side. I made it myself, and it just literally folds out.
Yeah.
And they can't see what I'm doing.
They can see your face. Yeah.
They can only see my face. They can't see my hand, like it goes across.
Yeah.
So they can't see anything below here.
Yeah.
I'm talking away to them and they don't hear anything when I'm turning the dials or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and I'd be just saying nothing, like anything or, you know.
Yeah.
But generally they're fair enough, you know.
No, she's just very helpful. Because they're inside.
And I sent home a thing about earwax then to the parents if they fail.
Yeah. Could that be a problem? That could be. It wouldn't. There'd be more of a problem than that. Could that be a problem if they got that sorted out? Then could they be alright?
Yeah, well, I tell them that I'll be repeating it in a month, and that for a week before that I'm repeating it. It's usually around, say, I did them on the 20th of October. I'll be doing them around the 20th of November. So for a week beforehand, just put in the eardrops at night time, and then we'll see. You know, and then I ring them straight after the second one. Generally, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
At least